What's up everyone, Justin with Untitled Chapter here, and today I'm here to do a full comparison between the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 4S. Right off the bat, you can notice that the iPhone 5 has a 4-inch 1136 by 640 resolution display at 326 ppi, same as the iPhone 4S, but even though it's just a half an inch difference, you definitely do notice it from the fifth row of icons, and when you're watching a video, it is now full screen video at 16:9 ratio. It definitely looks very great, and I've actually gotten used to the iPhone 5, and when going back to the iPhone 4S, it does feel a little bit strange. Let's go on to the other parts of the hardware. The iPhone 5 now features an HD 720p centered FaceTime camera, and let's go ahead and compare this thickness. So the iPhone 5 is said to be 18% thinner at just 7.6 millimeters compared to the iPhone 4S, and you can notice that there is a difference right off the bat. It is also 20% lighter, and from picking it up, it feels much lighter than the iPhone 4S, believe it or not. Maybe because it's just thinner and the weight makes it just feel overall a smaller device, but I definitely think it feels very great in my hand, and I definitely enjoy the new hardware of the iPhone 5. Apple did also polish up the edges. There is a little bit on the iPhone 4S, but I definitely think it looks cool that Apple polished the edges, the nice chrome edges. Just an added touch to the device. And another major change in terms of the hardware is the new dock connector on the iPhone 5. iPhone 4S uses a proprietary 30-pin that has been seen on devices for quite a long time, but Apple finally switched it up and put in a lightning dock connector. You will need an adapter that many are disappointed about, but I do think it does have a little bit of a faster transfer speed. Not too much of a difference, but there definitely is something that you would notice when you're transferring your files or restoring from a backup. And the speakers do look a little bit different. I didn't really notice a difference in terms of the sound, but a lot of people were saying that it is a little bit louder. You might have also noticed that the headphone jack is now located on the bottom as well. Let's go ahead and talk about the internals with the Geekbench. Just an overall benchmark of the system here. Let's go ahead and go to the... I've already cleared all the running applications, but the iPhone 5 features an A6 1.16 gigahertz processor. Usually clocks at different times depending on how much power it needs, but most of the time it's just above 1 gigahertz. And on the iPhone 4S, it is an Apple A5 chip clocked at 800 megahertz. The RAM on the iPhone 5 is 1 gig compared to 505 megabytes on the iPhone 4S. So you can see an upgrade in the specs. The iPhone 5 does also have 4G LTE now, but let's go ahead and run the overall benchmark Geekbench. Doesn't really matter about the speed. What matters is the final score that comes out at the end of this. And the iPhone 5 does complete pretty fast and gets a score of 1645, which is the score that we should expect to see. It goes around in the 1600s. I got 1619 before, 1639, but just to give you an idea, it should get somewhere around the 1600s, which is comparable to the Samsung Galaxy S3 North America version, maybe even scoring a little bit higher. However, the international version of the Samsung Galaxy S3 still beats it. So the iPhone 4S comes out with a score that we also should be seeing somewhere around the 600 range. So you can definitely see a difference in terms of the score here. iPhone 5 is definitely a little bit faster than the iPhone 4S. I wouldn't say it's a huge difference when you test it out, but the iPhone 5 does overall seem snappier and all that. So let's just go ahead and show you guys kind of scrolling around. You wouldn't really notice a difference, but iPhone 5 just overall, like I said, feels snappier when you're loading up applications and whatnot. And when you're using Safari, the speeds were pretty close, but the iPhone 5 does also get the edge. The new processor, the Apple A6 chip, is said to be 2 times faster than the iPhone 4S in terms of graphics and speed performance. So let's go ahead and first off start with the Wi-Fi speed test. So let's start out with the iPhone 5 first. So the download speed gets a pretty solid score of 35. I get anywhere between 33 and 42 on the iPhone 5. And upload speed usually stays constant around 5 megabits per second on the upload on any device pretty much. And the ping at 60 milliseconds is definitely very good. So let's go ahead and jump onto the iPhone 4S. ping of 19. It's pretty close overall. The ping doesn't really matter, especially at 3 milliseconds. And the download speed, I typically get somewhere between 15 and 18 on the iPhone 4 and the 4S. So that's about the speed we should be seeing. The upload speed is faster in the iPhone 4S. Pretty close again. Usually I get at a cap of around 5. So you can see from the evidence here, the iPhone 5 is nearly double the speed in terms of the Wi-Fi compared to the iPhone 4S. So now that we got the statistics, let's go ahead and check out the Wi-Fi speeds on either device. So I have already cleared the history here. Let's go ahead and just search something. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. And there you can see the iPhone 5 did beat out the iPhone 4S. Again, not too much of a difference, but let's go ahead and open up Apple's website. 3, 2, 1, go. And there you go. So once again, not really surprised. Apple did say you get about 2 times faster speeds on the iPhone 5 and up to 150 megabits download. So I think the iPhone 4S is still very, very fast, at least compared to the iPhone 4, which is still fast, but the iPhone 4S and the iPhone 5 are pretty close in terms of the speeds. In terms of the camera, just let you guys take a look at a quick desk tour using the video on both of them, as well as some photos I'm going to snap on both of them. The iPhone 5 does feature a new sapphire crystal camera lens, which is apparently stronger and a little bit clearer. I did notice the pictures to be a little bit more vibrant. Again, not too much of a difference in terms of the photo quality, but you do notice a little bit better vibrant colors popping out, especially reds, on the new sapphire crystal lens. The front-facing camera is a different story. The iPhone 5 definitely kicks the iPhone 4S's ass in terms of the video quality at now HD 720p, which I find very, very impressive. So, all in all, do I think you should upgrade? If you have the iPhone 4S, it's really up to whether you want the nicer screen, the better front-facing camera, and 4G LTE is also a huge factor. Unfortunately, I couldn't test that because I don't have 4G or 4G LTE, of course, in my area. But I have to say, the iPhone 5 does have its core features that you would want to upgrade for. But the iPhone 4S is by no means a bad phone. It's still very, very fast. The iPhone 4, you'd notice more of a difference between the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 5. And the iPhone 3GS is definitely worth upgrading as you get the much nicer display, a step past the Retina display. But overall, I have to say the hardware is definitely improved. The software has been a little bit buggy on the iPhone 5, especially on iOS 6. Not to say that the iPhone 4s have had some of the same problems as well. But all in all, it's really up to whether or not you need the new features on the iPhone 5. Please stay tuned for my video on solely focused on whether or not you should upgrade from the iPhone 4S to the iPhone 5. And also stay tuned for my iPhone 5 versus iPhone 4S versus iPhone 4. 3 generations of the family. Let's go ahead and compare those in a future video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.